the rule book 8.3 that deals with tries, and I've got it on the screen there. And I'm just going to briefly talk about some of these. You guys know most of them. They're just intuitive to the game. But I think one that we lose track of is A can snap that ball anywhere. They don't have to snap it right there in the middle of the field. And let's say that A scores the touchdown or scores the try, and there's a hold at the line of scrimmage on the hash mark. We would put them on the hash, take them back 10 yards, and redo the down. So it doesn't have it. They don't get a choice if there was a foul. I put in there that the try begins with the RF ready for play and ends with those listed there. I think the key on that ready for play statement is that if there's a foul after the ready for play, they don't. Well, it's the foul is handled different than if it's on the actual score. So if we set the ball and we've got a dead ball foul, it's got to be enforced on the try. It cannot go to the kickoff. And obviously, we blow it dead if B possesses that try. I'm not talking about field goals. I'm talking about tries. If it's apparent it's not going to be successful, we've got the back judge blowing the whistle. He's the one that has control of this on a try. Or if it becomes dead for any other reason. Only A may score. B cannot score in high school football on a try. If there is a loss of down on the play, let's say we've got illegal touching or illegal forward pass, there is no replaying of the try after the yardage. It is over. We go to kickoff. And this is, well, I'll keep going here. Double foul, which means foul on both teams. We will replay that down. If the try is replayed, except for that penalty example I just talked about, it can be put anywhere that the team wants it. In other words, if they snapped it from the left hash and they replay the down, they can snap it now from the right hash after that replay. This one is the one that I wasn't sure that was still in the rule book. I am so surprised they haven't removed this, and it is, and I quoted there, after a try, the opponent of the scoring team, so in other words, the team that just got scored on, shall designate which team will kick off. Meaning if you just got scored on, you can decide to kick off to the opponent. I have yet to see that in my 34 years of officiating, and I know there's some older guys on here that have been doing a lot more than I have. I'm pretty sure they have not seen that either. And that goes for if there's a field goal attempt that's successful, the team that was just scored on has a choice to kick off to the second half. I put in there that under formations, the holder is 7 yards behind the line of scrimmage or more, and that designates a couple things. One, the numbering exception, but also the protection of the snapper, and we'll look at a couple video clips here in a second. Just wanted to throw those out since sometimes we just don't take a peek at some of these rules that just seem run of the mill. All right, I'm going to share some video screen. I'm hoping this is not too choppy. Again, I'm not in the ideal place for video sharing, so I apologize if it's just not real good. So this one I want to talk about crew mechanics. This happens to be a try. I would like the referee and per the mechanics manual to be wider, and it's primarily because of a fire play. And we're not going to see a fire play here. We're going to see a blocked kick that rolls to the goal line or near the goal line. Once that is obvious, it's no good. We blow the whistle. I wouldn't need my, oops, sorry. I need this to cycle through instead of. We don't need an income or a no good signal from our wing. I think that always looks bad, even in a no good 2-point conversion. We don't want our wings to be signaling no good. Just come in with a spot that'll indicate we don't have a successful 2-point try, and then the referee will wave it off as no good. The only reason you'd signal no good in this case would be an incomplete pass as a wing. Okay. Next one I want to talk about is roughing the snapper. So when we've got that holder back 7 yards, we have to protect the snapper. And I know a lot of the veterans that are on this call routinely bark at the lineman, the defensive lineman, to stay off the snapper. And that just kind of warns them that you're looking at them, you're seeing a potential. Remember, they can charge the A gap. There's nothing wrong with that. They just cannot go over the top of the snapper's head when his head is down, and that's a safety issue. And so this actually has a better shot at this. There's nobody in that gap. And so as long as nobody goes directly over that snapper when his head's down, I've got no foul. I've got guys coming through the gap. We got a body that falls on top of him, but that wasn't his doing. That was the action of the bodies falling in there. I've got no foul here. Somebody disagrees with me, I am fine with that. Feel free to just put it in the chat. Another one where we've got a roughing the snapper question, and we've got probably an umpire here saying, stay off the snapper while his head down. I'm protecting the snapper. We'll see it from above here or from behind. A little better picture of it. Went through the gap, no foul, and you can see 54 here rises. I got nothing there. Coach would probably want something, but I've got nothing. All right, I think I'm just going to go straight to this one, the drone view. Now we're going to see what looks like, actually it's kind of a flop. I don't know if you can see this. There's nobody lined up on the snapper. Nobody even goes through the gap. And the snapper falls backward, probably trying to draw a penalty. Or maybe the locked knee or feet right here is a result of knocking him backwards. But nonetheless, it looks bad, but it's not a foul. Looks like we are in a modified try position, maybe because they lined up in a swinging gate or something. But here's our view right now. This is our umpire watching for this. So if we're in this position, you've got to have post and protection. And I think the umpire actually gave up on the kick. It's a lot to cover when we're in both that position for post and roughing a snapper. I don't agree with his call. It's a tough one to see from there, and I'm sure he saw the action or the result as opposed to the action that caused it. Now here's one you guys are we're gonna focus on this player right here that's coming in motion, and I just gathered, I've got a library of different things, and this one caught me off guard. I forgot this was in there. Let's keep an eye on this guy, this outside rusher. I think all of you just went, ooh, yeah, no, that's not going to be okay. Hopefully it's smooth enough on your end. It's obvious he lays a shoulder into the chin of that snapper. Stop it right when it happens. It's pretty intense. And so the question in this case is this ejection worthy? You can see about right here, he chooses to lower his shoulder into the helmet of the defenseless holder. I've got an ejection. Somebody disagrees, I'd probably be surprised. I think, again, this is one that the white hat's going to see. He's following this action. He sees this guy lowering his shoulder and taking out the holder. I'd make him sit out this game and the next. Yuck. All right, this one for some of you youngsters probably don't remember Doug Flutie playing NFL football. This is a game where he actually drop kicked. Again, I have seen a drop kick. I'm not sure it was in a varsity game. I'm not sure why anybody would do it anymore, but happens to be legal still in high school if they want to drop kick this ball. What it looks like. Also a 1-pointer. They don't get any more points for that than the normal 1 point. All right, I want to talk a little bit about fake field goals, or it could be a fake try. And I've got several of these, and there's a chance that there's a different rule in the college level. This is obviously out of Minnesota versus Wisconsin, but we always talk about the holder can only put the ball down on the ground to be kicked. He cannot toss it from his knee to this kicker in high school. You see his knee was still down right there. The knee's still down and he's tossing it to the kicker, who will then advance it to the end zone with a little assistant, maybe a hold there at the goal line. But bottom line is, in high school, this is illegal. And so as white hats, we're always reminded when we're looking through this that we're paying attention to that knee. Some kids will actually not put their knee down, and you can recognize that as a fake. He is welcome to bring his knee up and toss it to the kicker. That's no issue at all. But he cannot have his knee on the ground. And if he were to do that, that play is dead immediately if he does this. Not a live ball, foul or anything. It is just a dead ball. We blow it dead. And then if it's fourth down, it's a change of possession. This is always those third down goofy things that tend to find their way into our playoff test. But let's say it's third down and he tosses this ball to the kicker on third down. The ball is dead. The clock remains live because it's third down. We're not in a change of possession situation. So we would let the clock continue to run. Chances of you seeing that are 1 in a million. So I want to talk about crew mechanics here. And this applies not only to field goals, but also tries. I love the position of our white hat. Exactly what we want. He may look a little wide. They're on the hash. But that width, I think, is probably necessary, and we're going to see why here in a second. We've got our line judge under the post for a field goal, and like our crew, and I'm sure a lot of your other crews, we remind each other it's a live ball, and we're not going to have a whistle, inadvertent whistle, as this kick either gets blocked or returned. So watch the mechanics on my white hat. I believe this might even be Matt Miller, current president. Great position. The width that he started with allowed him to do this. We got coverage on the other sideline with our wing. We don't have any coverage on this pylon. This wing is perfect. Becomes a wing down the sideline. Now, the only thing I'm not a fan of, and there's a lot to think of here, umpires, you probably need to be ready to rule on the goal line because there's a long distance between that head linesman and the pylon on this near side. You can see there might actually be enough time for this back judge to move forward to the goal line, similar to their normal back judge mechanic. But there's a lot going on here. The crew did a great job. We're out of bounds, 1st and 10, going the other way at the 3. But again, umpires, think about that goal line coverage. We're kind of vulnerable in this situation. Here we've got a blocked kick. This is kind of weird. We got a blocked kick that's going to roll to the goal line. You'll see the ball head towards that far goal line pylon. Blocked, rolls, defense celebrates, ball sits. No whistle, no whistle, no whistle. Disciplined crew. K picks it up and runs it into the end zone. And if you haven't heard me say this enough, a kicked ball, still in kick status, that goes across the goal line is a touchback. K cannot score on this play unless they possess that ball behind the line of scrimmage. Then they're good to go. That's why we say this head linesman at the stake there probably should stay back at the line of scrimmage until he is 100% certain that ball does not get recovered by K behind the line of scrimmage. If that were to happen, K can advance this. But in this case, K runs down, picks it up at the 2-yard line. Sideline thinks he scored. In reality, all we have is first touching at the 1-yard line, 1 or 2-yard line. First down, team in black. But good discipline, not blowing the whistle. Ball did not cross the goal line. Had it crossed the goal line, the black team brings it out to the 20. But in this case, it stopped right there at the 1-yard line. Looks like Mac has a question. Go ahead, Mac.
Yeah, hey, sorry, I'm the brand new guy here. So
Glad to have you.
From a rules standpoint, since Team K cannot advance that ball, black gets it on about the 2, wherever it was first touched by K, right?
That's correct. That's correct. And had that ball rolled into the end zone, it's a touchback. K cannot score on a kicked ball that is still in kick status. The only exception to that would be as if R removes the kick status of the ball by starting a return and then fumbles the ball. Now we've got a whole different story. Now we've got a normal scrimmage play type action. Sorry, Bates, I may have interrupted you.
Yeah, the game's starting up again.
All right, I got a couple more here and we'll get back. Anybody care about Philadelphia anyway? This one was clumsy, and I'm not sure that I can give you a ruling on this, but here we've got the rusher actually diving and possessing that ball before the kicker ever makes contact with the football. The crew said no good. I don't know if we've got roughing the holder or not. Kind of weird. I'm not going to give you a ruling on that. You guys can talk about that in your area meetings. Here's a good example of this ball is going to be blocked, but it's going to be recovered behind the line of scrimmage by K. That can be advanced by the kicking team. And the one that is going to know whether that was recovered by K behind the line of scrimmage is our only remaining line of scrimmage guy. So in this case, the line judge. Stay true to that line. You got to know where that's possessed. In this case, they advance it. They don't get the first down, so it's going to be a turnover on downs. But if they got that first down, they'd be good to go. Couple more here. They're getting a little blurry, so these are a little bit older. This is another advance by K. Blocked. Big lineman. This is tough to know unless you're right on that line of scrimmage. I believe it's this lineman right here is the one we're going to try to decide whether it's behind or beyond the line of scrimmage when he catches this ball. He can advance it from behind, but not in front.
Even if it's tipped, you can't. Come on, man.
Hey, Keith, mute yourself for me, please.
I'm about to, man.
All right, thank you. Okay, I want to talk a little bit about hurdling at the line of scrimmage. We tend to see this a fair bit. If the hurdler is going between a gap and not over somebody, it's not illegal. This case, I don't believe he went over the center's head, but if he did, you might be suspicious here. But I believe he goes around the center through the gap, which is legal. And we always say if the person he's hurdling is flat back, it's not illegal. So he's not hurdling number 99. It would be the center if it was anybody. I've got no foul on this one, but that's very technical. I think you would be supported if you threw a flag on this. It's easier for me to watch it on film and judge this. Looks like he captured that ball too before it was kicked. Let's see. Move. Oh, here's one. Again, these are odd, and we don't have them that often. But here we're going to have a holder in a fake situation. He's going to stand up and move to the line of scrimmage, and I believe he's still moving forward, which is illegal. It's actually an illegal motion is what we have. And I guess this is going to certainly going to catch you off guard because you're not ready for it unless the coach pre-games this. But in this case, I believe we've got illegal motion because he is moving forward when he gets that ball. Okay, one swinging gate I wanted to talk about. Don't forget that in order for the swinging gate for the pass to be legal to the snapper, he has to be an eligible number, and he's got to be the last one on the line of scrimmage. So this guy has to be off, and he has to have a legal number. So in this case, I believe the formation is legal. That center can go out for a pass, and I believe that's what he does on this play. But this is why we really want that those two wings to be on the goal line, because there's a lot going on here that could be tricky for us. Eligible by position and number. All right, I think that's it for my tries and field goals. So we're going to cut it off there. If you got any questions, feel free to email me or talk about this stuff at your area meetings. Good stuff. Thank you guys for joining tonight. Next week, we're going to have John Sullivan from CHASA talk to us about the relationship between officials and CHASA and coaches. So join me next Monday night. Thanks, guys. Have a good night.
Thanks, Kurt.
Thanks, Kurt. Appreciate you, man.
Bet.
Good stuff.